All right, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So in the world of credit, we have what's known as personal credit and business credit. And a common misconception that people get or that people have is that if I have personal lines of credit, then that's the same thing as business credit. Or if I have business credit, then I no longer need personal lines of credit. But there really is a time and a place for each of them. So in this video, I am going to try my best to break down and just give you a 3,000-foot overview of some key differences between personal credit and business credit and how to properly set up your business credit so that you can not only get higher funding, obtain higher financing, and also protect your personal credit on the back end. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, then stick around because I'm going to show it to you here on my iPad and we're going to break down everything from A to Z. Now, if this is your first time on this channel and you appreciate content like entrepreneurship, personal finance, and credit as well as funding, then consider hitting the subscribe button down below because that's what we talk about here on this channel. And don't forget to hit that like button as well because it does help this content reach a larger audience. So over on the left, let's go ahead and break it down like this. We have personal credit on the left side, and then let's go ahead and write biz as business credit over on the right side. So there's a few factors that go into your personal credit, but really the top two that I can think of that really make up the majority of the score, right around 65%, is going to be the age of your credit. Really three: age of your credit, your credit or your payment history. Screw that one up. So your payment history. Let me go ahead and make sure right there. Payment history. And then it's going to be your credit card utilization. Credit card utilization. Right? World's best handwriting. So you have the age of your credit, you have your payment history, and then you have your credit card utilization. That's what makes up the majority of your personal credit. This is also what's going to affect the type of fund or how much of a funding you get over on the personal side or anything that you personally guarantee with your credit. On this side right here, you also have hard inquiries. So if you have, let's say, if you go to a car dealership and that car dealership rings up your credit score or rings up your credit 3 to 5 times, you're going to have 3 to 5 hard inquiries that can drop your score about 20 to 25 points, and then they might only use one of those inquiries to actually get you funding. This is how you absolutely toast and burn a credit report and a credit file. This is why you always want to be careful of the type of method that people are using when they are going to try to help you with financing. Something that you also want to take a look at with personal credit is that they are going to give you three different bureaus give you 3 different scores, which is going to make up your FICO score. So that is your Experian, that is your Equifax, and then that is your TransUnion. So that's Equifax, that's Experian, and that's TransUnion. Now, all of these 3 different bureaus, they have different algorithms that kind of goes into how they give you a score, which we won't get into in this video. But as long as you're making those on-time payments, as long as your credit utilization is on point, and as long as you're not having too many hard pulls when you're trying to go after new lines of credit, you're buying a house, or if you're looking to buy a car, then you should be fine. Now let's transition over to the business world, which is the business credit, right? Because it plays similar, but it's slightly different. And in my opinion, it's more powerful, especially as you start to utilize it as a wealth building tool. So on this side, you have what you can use as a sole prop. You have what you can use as an LLC, or you have what you can use maybe as a corp. In this case, we're just going to go ahead and put S corp. I always recommend for people to stay on this side of the board right here to either apply when you're going after business funding or when you're applying for business credit as an LLC or as an S corp. Here's the reason for that. You are going to use what's called your EIN. When you're using your EIN, this is also known as your employer identification number. When you're using your EIN, this is another way that you can have that credit reporting through your EIN, not just off of your social security number. Now, one caveat that I do want to give you here is that anytime you're personally guaranteeing anything, even if you are trying to go after business credit, especially when you're starting out, you are, let me go ahead and put that on this side, you are going to have to use your social security number. So you will use that here as well, which is why I always tell people to try to have your personal credit as strong as you can because it's going to help you on the back end with your business funding. But here's the part that kind of starts to differentiate of why business credit doesn't necessarily, or isn't just something that you get of how good your personal credit is, because you also have your bank accounts, right? So let me put bank. You have your bank accounts for your business credit. And there's some programs out there, and when I say programs, it's really different types of cards that you can go after that they just use your EIN, and they're going to go off of your bank statements. So if maybe you're just starting out and your personal credit is subpar, but your bankroll, you have, let's say, $100,000 in your business bank account, in your business checking, and in your business, let's say, savings, right? You can use your EIN and you can use that business account in order for you to apply for some of this higher funding with your business side, which is another big pro that I think a lot of people tend to overlook when they're looking to fund their business or when they're looking to scale their company, is you can pretty much, let me go and write it like this, you can pretty much 10 to 20x the amount of funding or the amount of credit limit that you get on your business side versus your personal side. So let's say if over on the left side, I have credit card A and I have a 700 credit score, they approved me for $10,000. If I were to apply under these same guidelines, but I have an LLC, I have my EIN, I have my my business bank accounts, that $10,000 can easily be pumped into $30,000 to even $40,000 just off that one line of credit, because I have these things right here playing into it. And then one more thing that I want you to pay attention to is that you have what's known as a DUNS number. Now, similar to personal credit, you also have business credit bureaus. They're the ones that kind of dictate if you've been making your payments on time, whether it's your net 30s or your net 60s, and they take a look at that and they obviously report your payment history. One of the biggest, or the biggest credit bureau for the business side is known as Dun & Bradstreet, which is where you get your DUNS number from. Different from your personal credit, when it comes to having your personal lines of credit, you only have TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Over on the business side, you have your Dun & Bradstreet, you have Experian, and you have Equifax Business, right? It's like a different branch. There's no TransUnion over on that side. But one thing that you do want to pay attention to is that with, let me see, I don't have any space to write it, so let me go ahead and erase something here. So when you have that DUNS number, it's going to help you generate what's called a Paydex Score. Your Paydex Score ranges anywhere between a 0 to a 100, different from the personal side that just goes up to an 850. So that 0 to 100, you want to be anywhere between an 80 to 100. This lets the companies and the vendors that you're going after know that you've been paying, or that your company has been making those payments on time. Now, for the net 30 or the net 60 accounts, and even for these business lines of credit. Now, one thing that I want to also add to this, apart from having that DUNS number, is that when, or if your business is ever late, I've noticed that it's easier for you to remove late payments from your business side than it is from the personal side. And the main reason for that is because since you're working with a company that's bringing in not just, let's say, a $30 or $40 payment, let's say that businesses usually make purchases in the thousands, 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20,000. That's why that business line of credit is so much higher than a personal line. A lot of these credit bureaus and a lot of these vendors and a lot of these companies know that things happen. And sometimes companies, even though they have a net 30 or a net 60, they have more than one thing happening, right? And so they know that if they're taking care of their employees, they're taking care of, let's say, customer acquisition, they're taking care of possible onboarding. They know that sometimes things happen and sometimes people miss payments and sometimes that invoice maybe wasn't seen, maybe it was lost in an email. So I've seen that it's a lot easier to remove a late payment off of a business credit report than it is to get it removed off of a personal credit report. Just a little tip that you should keep in mind when you're looking to build out your business lines of credit and not just your personal lines of credit. So there you have it. In my opinion, you want to have both, because if you have your personal lines of credit, that's what you're going to use to purchase your personal vehicle. That's what you're going to use to get your personal credit cards to travel. That's also what you're going to use to purchase your home. But you want to have your business lines of credit as well, because like anything else, you always want to differentiate and separate what you do do on your business side and not just mix it with pleasure. I also want to encourage you to leave some comments down below if you have any questions about what you just finished watching. If you haven't done so already, consider taking a look at my entire catalog of personal and business credit, because that's going to help you kind of bring you up to speed if you felt that this was a little bit too advanced. But either way, I encourage you to leave some comments down below, because this video was inspired by some frequent comments that I just kept seeing about business credit and personal credit. And so I might just pick your comment as the next video. So you can go ahead and do so down in the bottom. If you did find value in this content, it would mean a lot to me if you hit that like button down below, because it does help this content reach a larger audience. Don't forget that anytime I'm not posting on here, I'm posting over on the Inside with Irv show, which is my podcast style channel. So if you like what we have going on over here, you'll love what we have going on over there. Once again, I appreciate you guys checking me out. Till next time, everyone, I will see you in the next video.